Welcome back. Right now we're going to work with Linux's redirection symbol, which is a greater than, and a redirection with appending, which means adding, which is a double greater than. So let's look at the date command. When I hit enter, I'm going to do UTC format. When I hit enter, the output goes to the screen, which you can clearly see. What we can do is capture the output and store it in a file. And I'm going to call it sample.txt. Notice there's no output going to the screen. And if I do cat is a command which stands for concatenate, but it's multi-purpose. One of the things it can do is lets you look inside a file to see its contents. So I'm going to do a cat sample.txt, which is the name of the file that we did in the previous step. And I can clearly see the output that would have gone to the screen was actually redirected using this symbol into a file. So remember cal-3, we're going to look for the calendar for the 3 months of this year, and we're going to put it into that same file. Because I'm using a singular greater than, the contents of that file, and I'm going to use cat again to look inside it. In later chapters you'll learn what cat can do additionally. Notice what was there before, right here, has been deleted. The sample.txt was deleted and recreated with this information. I'm also going to do this. I'm going to do date-u double greater than. And we will see that the text that's in the sample.txt, the data right here, will be preserved, and we'll add the output of the date command because we have the double greater than. We'll add it to what's already in that file. So let's go take a look. You can see the calendar from this command, redirection, is there. Because we use the double greater than, the output of the date is put to here. Just keep in mind, if we issue another command such as who, redirect to sample.txt, this file is deleted, it is recreated, and we only have the output of the who command. I also would like to use this opportunity to show you how we can take the output of the history command and we can redirect it to a file called hist.txt. If we do a cat, and keep in mind my history is much larger than yours, if I do a cat hist.txt, it goes by pretty quickly because I have over 312 commands in my history. So I'm going to introduce you to the command called more. Notice when you have the more, I can see one screen full of data at a time. I hit the space bar to go forward. So right now I'm at 10%. I keep hitting the space bar. I get one screen, or what we call pagination, at a time. I can only go forward with the more. And I'll go all the way to the bottom. Once I hit the bottom and there's no more, I'm out. I'd like to introduce you to a command called less. Less lets you look at a file that has lots of data, one screen at a time, just like the more. I hit the space bar to advance, and I can go backwards using the arrow key, or I can use page up or down. So we joke in UNIX circles that the less is more, because the less lets you go down and it lets you go up. And again, Q gets you out. And I have two more to show you, and we're done with chapter 1. We can do head, hist.txt, and it will show you the first 10 lines of a file. And you can specify, I want the first 15 lines of a file. So do head. The option or switch is dash or -15 in the name of the file that we created earlier with this command. And I see the first 15. And tail lets you see the bottom 15. And if I want to just see 5, change the switch to be 5. If I don't want to specify how many, it will default it to 10. I do want to show you one more thing. I'm going to bring up DOS. And DOS, if you remember, is base. DOS is what's behind Windows, is what powers the earlier Windows operating system and to some extent parts of Windows today. And it allows you to do redirect. Look, I'm in Windows, right? It says Windows. I'm doing dir redirect dir.txt. And they have a more command too. that lets me go through it. So I hope you see the power of running and actually have an exit as well. So even though that's Windows, if you learn Unix, a lot of the skills, not all, but some of the core details in workings of Unix is transferable to Windows. And keep in mind what powers the Android devices, such as a phone, as well as Macs and iPhones, is the Unix kernel. So what you're learning here is very relevant and very transferable.